Welcome back. Been a while, hasn't it? Hey? Yeah, what a mission. Okay. Talk through a few things, I suppose. Well, we've got to. Yeah, we've got the swing arm mounting points put in, not fully, and I've got to do a little bit of plating in here because I didn't know how that was going to end up till I got the engine in, but the engine is now in on its own mountings, etc. So we've got two mountings here actually attached to the frame to be kind of authentic, a bit like the VF750, because we're not using this rear engine mount that went through the back of the head on the original bike. So I just put an extra one in because I want to utilise both of these pickup points, similar place, and it's okay. So yeah, well, what I've done, rear suspension, I suppose we start on there. Let's have a look at rear suspension. Right, Ducati 916 to the Honda VFR750 swinging arm. So what have we got? How did we do it? What a bit of a mission that was. So what we've got to do is make up a... Okay, so let's talk through it. Obviously when it's tight, which it is, this would have been the back of the engine, this tube here on the 800. So when it's tightened up, that doesn't move obviously, and the little bearing, inner bearing if you like, there stays still as well. So it's all clamped up solid, and then the bearing in the actual eyes, the outers if you like, are what it actually pivots up and down on. So what I needed is a device with that. I didn't want to alter the swinging arm. That was my key. I didn't want to chop into it, chop it, have it welded, blah blah. I just wanted it to run as it was in the Honda. So what I needed to do, what I've got to do with it, I've made a carrier down there that's actually got the bearings in. Same size bearings ID as the swinging arm spindle, and then a smaller OD as I could get, and then made a carrier. So now what happens is, when the arm moves, that little, obviously it's bolted up solid to the inners, so the inners are rigid, and obviously the outer part turns. Okay, so a bit of a working out angles and throw, etc., trying to work out where this position was on the Ducati swing arm, etc. And but if I don't know if I can do this with yeah, I should, right, I've got my arm through the wheel there, look. Okay, so as we have a look, it's not tight, obviously there's a bolt there that's not tight, but right, we'll probably see better if I take the tank off. We'll talk through a few bits before I do that, take the tank off and come back to it. Exhaust now is going to be the my next headache. It doesn't. Sometimes you do come in here and think, why the hell am I doing this? But anyway, there we go. So exhaust wise, standard header. Now the exhaust that I got with it, which is this contraption here, has got a damaged. I do have this little bit, but I'm going to change that. If I'd use this exhaust, I'm going to change that that section. Certainly to there, it's been welded and re-welded, and it's got more freaking spikes in there from MIG welders than I don't know what. It just wants taken out and tigging with the TIG. Okay, so basically I've offered up two headers to have a look where they go, have a look what it's kind of like. We can just about get this in. If I can do it while I'm filming, and all my bits of pipe ready on the... No, hang on, I'm going to have to move my drill. Right. Let me put my drill over here. Let's have a look. Right. Picking exhaust up and sliding it in here. Okay. And we can get it so far. It's there, look, and it's just so close to going on. But if I sort of just hang it there, we get an idea of how and what and it wants lifting up. So it's fouling. This particular exhaust is from the from the 93 bike that does have a slightly different frame to the, I think it's 94 to 97 bike. Yeah, that bit in there that I thought I may potentially use for the centre stand, I don't think I'm going to be able to. So I have made quite a few exhausts before out of just bends or whatever, again for the sidecars. Hence the reason we're getting all my bits of pipe out and all this sort of stuff, to see whether I'm going to start from scratch with it or whether I'm going to try and cut some of the effort out and reuse an RC36 style exhaust. Who knows, it may go on, because I know the 36 goes in between the swing, the centre stand. Really could do with putting my hands on one of them. So what I'm going to do, I feel, is, because this engine is a bit of an unknown, it was sold to me as a runner, and you know, I hadn't been running for a while, there's nothing wrong with it, is potentially buy a cheap bike. So flog off the bits I don't want to use, like fairings and all that sort of stuff. So buy a half decent one, perhaps, to try and get my money back by, again, you know, selling the fairings onto the lads that need some fairings, and that gives me a good engine. But what it also gives me is, what I need is, I want a full set of VFR750 forks, yokes and front wheel. So to basically send, I mean, these will be for sale, anybody wants them. These were brand new, genuine Honda stanchions. These, absolutely not a mark on them, even up there, not a mark anywhere on them. They will be coming up for sale, so if you want any VF750 forks, give me a shout, because all the VF stuff that I'm not using, i.e. swinging arm, front wheel, forks, yokes, original swinging arm, original back wheel, etc., all that sort of stuff's going to be sold. So, you know, hopefully it pays for bits for buying it for doing this. So yeah, so where were we? Right, moving round. So wheeling, absolutely in line, we've done that before, haven't we? We've shown all that. Again, I've got my mounting point in. I've still got to TIG around here yet, and I've got to finish some of this welding yet, because it's the angle it's at. I want to be able to lay the frame down and then get a better weld on it. All big solid engine mounts, and it's on spacers, etc. So it's all mounted. Another one there, detachable one as per the original bike. Yeah, let's just take this tank off. So bear with me, because I'm gonna, the hand I'm holding the camera is gonna have to take the tank off. Just bear with me. I'll just stand that up. Stand the tank up a minute. Right. So suspension. Okay, there's the mounting, there's the rocker. There's nothing actually tight. If you can see, this bolt here isn't tight. That's where the little bit of the plate is on the hole there. So here we are again from this side of the linkage. 916. Now, my plastic inner mudguard, while we're on this, I'll talk about that. I did fetch out my storage, offer it in, and it touches the end of this. Now, I didn't actually want this shock. I wanted the one that's got the vertical gas chamber on it. So this is potentially going to get changed when we get a bit nearer the time, but for the purposes of the kind of building and that sort of stuff, it can stay as it is. So don't need that yet in. What's going to happen way before that is, this frame's going to be finished welding, go away to be blasted, and then get powder coated up and we start building. So yeah, we just got the trim, the little rubber trim that's on the hey up, the Reggie boy's here. Reggie, come on Reg. So let's have a look at this, see if I can do it with one hand and filming it. Yeah, and then okay, so rear suspension looking good. I measured obviously loads of stuff, but the height from there to the centre of the original rear wheel, and I've made it a little bit longer, but all that's taken care of by this push rod. You can either raise or lower the ride height at the back just on this push rod. Reggie, his brother was run over. There was Ronnie and Reg. His brother was run over, and they're changing him that day. He just cries. But anyway, it's one of them. What can we do? So anyway, yeah, where were we? Right, for this to happen, for this to actually happen, this rocker off a Ducati, same angle as you look at it, off an 916, for that to work, the original rocker cover, if you like, cam box, whatever you want to call it, original one has a big breather box on it here. That was obviously in the way. I deliberated, kept coming in, looking at it, walking out, and that sort of stuff, thinking, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Do I move this back? I didn't, because I wanted to keep the geometry, if you like, of that off the Ducati the same. And it was well, the heads are the same. The VFR750 uses the same cylinder head to the front and rear. Okay, now the reason that is angled like that is to obviously get it away from the chain and get it around the shocker. But this head can be taken off, spun round 180, and it's the same head on the front. Okay, so what I've done, I've took the front rocker cover off and put it on the back. Now I get my clearance. Okay, and then front rocker cover, I'm going to have to remod the breather box. A bit of a what's the words on that? A bit flying blind with that. I don't know how much it would potentially. I've only roughly cut it out, shapes and what have you like that. But I've got a bolt here, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to put that there a second while I get. Bear with me, because you've only got one pair of hands. So what I'm doing, which I'll come to show you, what I'm doing, I'm just putting the radiators in, original standard radiators, just slotting them in the gap, and obviously I'll show you in a minute. So that in there, that in there, slides up, put a bolt in it, just put a bolt in, stop it falling out. Right, let's have a look. Okay, so original radiators, look at this, 750 carbs in, obviously VFR carburetors, an airbox, and I have had to start and chop that just to get that to go under the tank. So what I'm going to do with that, I don't 100% know yet, but we'll be looking at that in a bit. So radiator in place, you see there's the head, the same head with the angle, that angle coming out, like there's no need for that angle to come out of that angle on the front head, so they are the same head to front and rear. That's Honda's, you know, machining and developing and what have you, and making it as cheap as they can make it. So instead of having two separate heads as per the VF, the heads are the same on the VFR. So anyway, yeah, one engine mounting point, like I say, I've done there. This gives me the clearance here. I need to work on that breather. I need to get a pipe coming out of the breather down there, off the breather, but it goes in right. The choke's there, same as the original. You can see the work in there. Yeah, we've got MIG welds. I know I've only took the paint back to where I need to weld. I mean, obviously when these are sandblasted and a bit flapped up, and but by using my TIG and my MIG there, so there's a bit more to do, but I can't get around it, and it's at an angle I don't want to. It's like that one there. I want to actually weld that one laid down, not up here. You know, I'm not a freaking coded welder, but you get what I mean. So anyway, there we go. So she sat on her own. The engine is in on its engine mounts, and where's my little let's show you this bit of B&Q sort of, I don't know, channel. What is it, 8mm, 10mm or something? 10 it says there, I think. Yeah, 10 or something. Anyway, so let's have a look at that. So if I put that on up there, my rear sprocket, and just sort of force it down onto the sprocket there. Okay, so that is no movement in it, and it's straight. So let's just have a look at the front sprocket then. There's not enough. Let me give a bit more length, like that. And so all I've done is press it down onto the sprocket there, like that. Look. Okay. turning the wheel, and as I turn the wheel and rotate it, ice cream van. Ice cream van. Yeah. To check it even more, might be an ice cream. It's Saturday. It's the 30-degree day. Another one we can do. I can't see what you're seeing. Here we go. Right. Okay. Big straight flat bit. Back of the sprocket sat. The back of the sprocket. I can make it some more. There we go. Okay, back of the sprocket, back of the sprocket. Even if after finalising welding we get to a situation that we could do with, it could really do with moving a mill here or a mill there. It's on spacers everywhere. Okay, it's on little spacers everywhere. The whole thing. Now, if we look here, we really are in a situation where, as I said before, if we think about it, I haven't altered the headstock. Okay, no headstock was altered. All this is original up here. Okay, so all the headstock is original. So headstock with forks in, tightened up, and the nut under there is tight. Tightened the yoke in, bottom yoke in, top yoke's just slopped on, but okay. Forks down to the front wheel, and then the front wheel bolted to the table. So the front wheel is bolted to this flat of the wheel under there. Okay, so with that you could swing the frame that way. It would sort of swing up and swing up, etc. Okay, but that front wheel is, we're calling that going straight. So again, the other video, if we zero that and also run a line down that wheel to this wheel and also zero the angle of it, that is in line with that at the front. Okay, I have got no issue with alignment on it. It's tacked up at the back in here. I've done a TIG weld down here, but again, I'm not, it's okay, that TIG weld, and I've wanted to, inside this engine mounting in here, is weld as much as I can inside, and then obviously it's going to have a little, there's the inner part there that I've got to reshape yet. There's just going to have a little fold flat piece in there. There's going to be a little bit more of this taken off here, just get a bit more of a curve. Finishing it, but I can't do it with the engine in. So I thought, my thoughts were, right, okay, while it's like it is, I might as well do the exhausts instead of take the engine out, finish the welding, weld at the back of here and stuff like that. You know, weld it fully, properly. It ain't going anywhere. It's in, held on its own engine mounts, and yeah, what I was saying about, I didn't get that far because the cat did the measurements from here to here. I know what the measurement is, and I know this actually has it set is a little bit longer. So, but we've got an 18-inch wheel in the original and quite a tall tyre. So we've got a 17-inch wheel in here, and I don't know where the tyre is going to be. So I've got play with it anyway on this. What do you call it? Bell crank, I suppose, isn't it? But quite a trick idea Ducati did with that. Same bolt, same upward motion bolt, but one going off to the side of that rocker, but this side's longer. So yes, it's coming up. Yes, the actual swinging arm is bringing the bottom of the suspension up, but with the rod pressing on like a 1.5 to 1 ratio, the top is also going down to meet it at the same time. So really quite tricky. Well, all I'm going to say is it works on the 916 and the Monsters and the ST4s and all that, so it's the same setup. So we're giving ourselves a really good starting point for what shock we want in it. This, when I strip it all down, I will do more of a video on what I had to make there. It's quite robust part, and it actually works off the original mounting point. So that swinging arm hasn't been altered in any way. Okay, so yeah, I'm back to, do I buy a, what I need, anyone looking, what I need to finish this is, obviously I've got my tank and side panels and seat and everything in it, all the mounting points are all still there, so battery box is going to be a bit of an issue, because the battery box I've got down there at the other side of the bike, and with this here, no way does that go in, so we're going to have to think about the battery box. Maybe even a bit HRC, whatever, I don't know, side of engine, I don't know, something like a SV1000 Suzuki or something, side of engine, I don't know yet. I ain't got that far. So yeah, original fare and everything, tank, seat, side panels, tailpiece, all original VF, but with the R motor, the VFR motor. I mean, look at the way it goes in with the radiators and the, you know, it's kind of, it really is kind of asking for it. You don't think? I do. I mean, hey, look, I'm in it this far, but what was I saying? What do I need? What do I need? I need a decent set of forks. I don't want a set of forks that's got pitting up here, but this bit's all right here. I want a decent set of forks. I know you can have them re-chromed and stuff, but look, if there's a bike out there, decent set of forks, front wheel, calipers, discs. Okay, to bring the front up to the same as the back for tyre sizes and choices. And I may run some bars, you know, with proper handlebar clamps on another top yoke I've got, which is here somewhere, there. So I've got another top yoke there. I may do something with that. Yeah, so to get the front up to more modernised, if you like, and then the wheels will be painted gold, trying to stay in the theme of the VF again. Exhaust wise, I'd like to try an RC36 exhaust from a 94 to 97 to see whether it would actually go on even with that centre stand mounting in place. But we're this far off it attaching to the manifold, so it either means a cut, lengthen it, be able to get it at that and work from that. I don't know yet, so there's going to be probably a little bit of time. I need to finish the exhaust and decide how, what and what I'm going to do with it. But if we end up with a side stand, I'll just have to get a different you know, paddock stand for the rear. So that's about it up to now. She's in, carbs, airbox, engine. I do have a wiring harness for a VFR, so that's going to be a pretty, the wiring doesn't bother me, but it's going to be an in-depth one where I'm going to change two, like the ECU, come CDI, whatever you want to call it, box for this engine. That's something else obviously that'll go, and I do have two sets of them actually, known working CDI spark boxes for the VF, which will be obviously no use to me anymore. Okay, right, I'm going to sign off at that. Hopefully that's given you a bit more of an update where we are. So a bit more of an update where we are with it. And yeah, anybody got anything, a bike they'd like to sort of spares, and you know, I'm not after something for nothing here, but you know, what I'm after what I'm looking at doing is probably getting another RC36, and I get the front wheel, I get the forks, I get the brakes, switch gear. If I use the switch gear, I may still try and keep the original switch gear for this. Don't know, we are quite a way off that bit yet, but she's in, and right, let's see where we get to next. So we are on with it, it is happening, but yeah, let's see where we get to next. Thanks for watching it, and give us a thumbs up.